They're going to church with a fake belly. They're going to the mosque with a fake belly. They're going everywhere with a fake belly. And there is a woman in a corner carrying your child. I have tears in my eyes because I don't get it. What level of ingratitude is that? Yes, that is my opinion. To me, it's just ingratitude. And it's just fake. And it is lies. I see it all the time. And then after 9 months, they come to church and they do Thanksgiving. Are you kidding? As in, are you kidding? No. The reason why you are infertile at this point is not a curse. It's not an affliction. It is not. It is a testimony. Maybe using the word testimony is too religious for you. Okay. Your situation is for somebody else. You are just a catalyst. So if you find yourself in that kind of situation of infertility, that is your opportunity to open a support group. That is your opportunity to actually go out, just as people do with cancer, just as people do with AIDS. This is your opportunity to get answers, not to conceal, pay millions of naira, millions of dollars to be walking around with fake bellies, and somebody is in a corner spitting, throwing up, and carrying your baby for 9 months, even though they are getting paid. Yes, I get it. But man, and then you show up for Thanksgiving, or some people even go out of the country for 9 months or 10 months, and they come back into the country and they do a one bear. Are you kidding? There's nothing wrong with surrogacy. But I think that it's high time that people are transparent about infertility. I'm crying because I have been a victim of infertility. I've tried to have children, and God has only used it as a situation in my life to show me that there are some things in this life that you cannot manipulate. There are some things in this life that you cannot change. Let me wipe my tears. I'll come back. Welcome back. I tried to clean my tears, but it's such a passionate topic for me, so I don't know how much of that I can do. We are talking about infertility, and I was giving you the different options. I am a woman who has been in my marriage for almost 6 years, and we've not heard the cry of a baby. But that process has shown me that there are some things in this life that are bigger than us. And we cannot just sit back there, putting our life on hold, waiting for this child to come, because the truth is, really, what if it doesn't come? I have traveled to India to actually get myself checked. I've traveled to America to get myself checked. I've gotten myself checked in over 4 hospitals in Nigeria. I mean, really, what more am I going to do? What more? There are some things that are just bigger than you. So, instead of hiding this thing called infertility, hiding it, or I was even talking about the surrogacy, how people would actually wear a belly to fool everybody while somebody is in a corner having your baby. But in lying to people for 9 months, being out of the country for 1 year, and then you just come back, boom, with a child. No. Start an organization, start a support group, start a campaign, change people's lives. Let people know that it was surrogacy. Yes. Let people even know that it was an IVF. You are 60 years old, you are 70 years old. It is, and it was not a miracle. I'm not talking about people who had a miracle. I'm talking about people who did an IVF, and then they just come out ho-ha. Oh, we just thank God. Oh, we just want to thank God. Oh, God has done it for us. Oh, God has done it again. Why did you omit your testimony? Why did you omit it? Why didn't you say that? I thank God that we didn't have the money. Or I thank God that we had the money and God gave us those millions. I thank God that out of the women who had failed IVFs, because people do have failed IVFs. I've done an IVF before and it has failed. Out of all those failed attempts, this time it actually happened. we really, really want to thank God. Why don't you give your testimony that in this process of infertility, man, you learned that some things are totally out of your control. Why can't you be honest and tell people that your relationship with your spouse was probably strained? Maybe they even threatened to even bring in another spouse. Why can't you tell people that? Why can't you tell people that, but God intervened on your behalf? God gave you a child. No. This is Africa. We don't talk. Yeah, we don't talk. But in many ways, we're also very fake. Everything is so exterior. That's why a lot of people are in pain. Because nobody is real. For crying out loud. Well, not that nobody is real. But the country, the culture is set up to conceal and to hide. And whatever you hide is endangered. Whatever you hide is in prison. Infertility, it is a serious problem. The man has a problem. The woman has a problem. I thank the Almighty God. And I'm not saying it because I'm in front of the camera. I thank God that I married a man. First of all, I married a man of God, which means that he is God's child. And he behaves like his father, which is God. The man has not for one day put any pressure on me. And that's not because he does not want children. I will have you know that my husband is a Yoruba man who came from a family of 9 siblings. So he's family oriented. He wants children. But he has the understanding that children come from God. They don't come from a woman. They do not come from a woman. Children are blessings from God. Blessings from God. From God. So you men and you women need to realize that jumping out of your marriage to go and get a child showed that your motives were ulterior from the start, right from the beginning. I thank God for my in-laws. I thank the Almighty. Not one day have they picked up the phone. You may say, your husband will not tell you if they've been calling him. No. Mr. Komolafe will tell me. And there is something about in-laws. They don't know how to hide their own. No matter how much they are pretending, it will come out one day. My in-laws have not one day disturbed me, and they will never will. Because that opportunity is not even going to come. Because God is going to answer me very, very soon. And he will answer you too very, very soon. But what do you do in the interim? What do you do when you have tried an IVF? What do you do when you've even done the surrogacy? What do you do when you have tried an IUI? What do you do when you have cleared all the infections? When you've drank all the agbo in the world? I remember when I was drinking, I came straight from the US. My whole system, I have never drank anything herbal in my life. Only for me to come here, and I wanted children so bad that I was drinking one kind of liquid that had sticks inside it. Very, very bitter. Looking for a child. What do you do when you go through that process? What do you do when people invite you for naming ceremonies and they know that you don't have a child? What do they do when they even invite you to officiate the naming ceremony? My husband and I have been invited to name a baby. And we didn't even know where to start. Because we've not named ours. We have the names in our hearts, but we don't have them yet in our hands. And one day we will. I don't know about my husband, but one thing that I have learned in my journey of infertility is that I still have to live my life. And I am a whole woman with or without a child. I'll never forget a friend of mine when she got married. Her father-in-law actually told her, I hope you know that you're still a girl. When you're a woman, we will call you. When you're a woman, we will get in touch with you. Which means 9 months from now. They already started putting pressure on her. What does that mean? You will not believe the type of statements I've heard. The type of statements that have been made to me because I don't have a child from people. Is it because that you're so busy? Or is it because that you don't want any children? My dear, you better want children, no? Children are a gift from God. They are indirectly trying to tell you that you don't have any gift in your life because you don't have a child. You are useless in the society. Because you don't have a child. You are not as intelligent because you have never wiped the butt of a baby. Because you don't know what the smell of diapers are. That is a lie. Man, woman, who has been labeled or stereotyped infertile. I want to tell you that your womb may not be able to give birth to a child right now. Because remember, everything in life is a season. Everything in life is for a season. The doctor may say that you are infertile, but that doesn't mean that you are not fruitful. It doesn't mean that you are not fruitful. It doesn't mean that you are not a good husband. It doesn't mean that you're not a good wife. It doesn't mean that you're not a good friend. It doesn't mean that you're not a loyal person. And it does not mean that you are not in God's good books. It's God that gives everything. If he chose not to give you a child, then he knows what he's doing. You may not be ready now. Maybe there is a contract coming your way that you're not even going to have any time for. So he's waiting for that time. Maybe your spouse is going to die, God forbid. But maybe there is a situation that is going to happen that you may not be able to handle. And it may not be ideal to have a child now. I am a very, very realistic type of person. So after I tried that first IVF and it didn't work, after I did that IUI, after I found myself in situations where I tried so hard, spending all kinds of money, flying to different countries, and I found out that this answer was not mine to give, I relaxed. I kept on writing books. I kept on singing. I kept on doing so many things to help people. I even started to go to hospitals and I will ask for the mothers who just gave birth, strangers, and I will give them gifts. I will give them diapers. I will give them baby clothes. At first, I started it because I was planting a seed for my own child. I even went as far as buying baby clothes, feeding bottles, in symbolism that one day my own children will come. But I found out that there are some things in this life that when you forget them, they will actually come. That's the irony of life. So I decided to focus on myself. I decided to be the best that I can be, because if God does not give me a child, God is still going to ask me, Adam, where is Eve? Eve in this case is the epitome of your purpose. Adam, where is Eve? What did you use your life to do? The life that I gave to you, what did you use it for? Oh, you used it sitting down crying, being depressed because you didn't have a child? Then that's when they will show you all the people who have not had children and how they changed the world, how they became missionaries, how they wrote books, they became authors, how they became pastors, how they became lawyers, how they took their pain and they turned it into gain. And then you will realize that it wasn't only you after all. For those of you who are dealing with infertility, it is not a stigma. It is only a stigma when you decide to wear it on your forehead. So infertility, please don't just sit down thinking that it will solve itself. No, infertility does not solve itself. It is a problem, it is a disease. And a problem has to be solved. And go to the problem solver, which is a fertility doctor. My husband and I went, and God has been very, very faithful to us. We are getting closer to our answer. And I know that one day, you too will have your answer right in the palm of your hands. But until then, stay true to yourself. Stay transparent. Husbands, stay in your marriage. Your blessing is in the marriage. It's not in another woman outside. There is so much more to marriage than having children. God bless you.
You will have to jump off a cliff, just knowing that you will not crash. If you're not in control of your emotions will be in control of you.